Hi guys, it's Mary and today I am filming my May wrap-up. It seems like it's going pretty good this reading year and I'm very happy because I am enjoying reading a lot. So let's jump into it and talk about the first book that I finished in May, which was Blessings by Chukwuebuka Ibeh. And this one was I don't remember which month we picked this book. I think it was April. And I finished this, the beginning of May. I'm getting mixed up here. But okay. So this was a 3-star read for me. It was okay. Nothing memorable. It's the story of this young boy coming of age in Nigeria. Even though I feel like he's the main protagonist of the novel, the narrative is split into 2 different point of views, which is one is Obiefuna's point of view, the boy, and his mother. And I think I enjoyed the sections where his mother was speaking more. I found them more enjoyable to read, more fleshed out actually, while his sections were a little bit too repetitive and not really deep. We didn't really get to know him very well, I feel. So he's gay, and he, of course, being a coming of age novel, he realizes that first in the house with a boy that comes over to help the family, and he sort of feels attracted to this boy, and his father finds out, and basically he sends him to this Christian boarding school, and the story unfolds mainly there, I would say. The author of this novel is very young, and I think, and this is a debut novel, and I think it shows a little bit. The writing is good. It's not bad by any means, but it's just, I felt like it was lacking something for me to engage really with the story and with the characters. But I did have a good time reading it. So I really, I still feel like I want to check out more from this author in the future. But this one was just okay. Then I read a buzzer, which was Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So this book was all over the place in, I want to say 2017. I remember everybody was putting this book in their favorites lists, favorites of the years, favorites of the year lists, and I was very interested because I feel like it's a kind of story that I would enjoy. So I did not, and I gave this book 3 stars. So I guess it was enjoyable. It was nice. It was nice to read, but I was expecting so much more from this book. First of all, I don't think it really works the writing style in which it's written, which is an interview. Basically, there's the narrator of the book who's interviewing all the band members and just people around the band, asking them to talk about their past, how they came to be, how they became this big, huge hit in the 70s, basically. And so everyone has their say in the events. And I feel like this kind of narration is very surface level. It doesn't really, I don't know, I didn't feel like being an interview, it sort of doesn't dig really deep into their emotions, I guess. And so I didn't really enjoy this kind of style. It was very quick to read. So there's that. But again, it felt more like a YA novel, and I'm not sure, I don't think this is YA. I think this is an adult novel, but it really reads as a YA. Very sort of like this rock band wants to be transgressive, and it sort of tries, but it fails, I feel, like because of the narration, not because of what they do necessarily, but it felt a bit fake. I don't know. That's my main problem with this. But having said that, there are parts that I tabbed because I felt like they were well written, and they said stuff that made sense, that I was like nodding along. So I did not, I did enjoy reading this book. And then I've started watching the TV show, because I thought, well, the book wasn't great. Usually when a book is not great, but I sort of visualize the people, I feel like it's a better TV show or a better movie. But this was not the case. I mean, I didn't finish the show yet, but the show is exactly like the book. Very surface level, very sort of fake. I don't really believe in what I'm seeing, even though I'm seeing it. And yeah, I have other problems with the show, which I'm not going to discuss here. But yeah, it was a good book. I definitely want to read more from her, because I know that she's a very well acclaimed author. But this one was just okay for me. Oh, and another big thing, which I almost forgot about, and this is entirely a me problem, I understand that, but I don't like when, I don't like fictionalized versions of real people in real life. I don't like reading books about life of people that really lived, that are sort of, you know, fictionalized, that it's a novel, but it's actually real life, that you're putting words in their mouth, emotions in their heads, even though they were real people, which I know it doesn't, not always, like if it's something very, very old, that we don't have any records of, then I'm fine with it. But if it's something like where we can access pictures, writings, texts, video footage, then I'm not okay with it. And this is a fictionalized, you know, like none of these people are real, but the author is heavily inspired by Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks. And knowing that, I wish I didn't know that, because knowing that, I'm like, I want to know the real story. Like, even if it's not real, it's just some parts maybe are real, maybe are not, maybe are similar. I just want to know, like, what parts are real? Like, how much the real band, real Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks are alike. They are like fictionalized counterparts. I don't know. It's just a me problem, I know, but that was another huge thing that didn't work for me. Then I read, I'm sort of going in order, in the order in which I read them, which I think, then I read Patricia Highsmith, Deep Water. And this was another book club pick with, well, I didn't even mention before, I said a book club pick without mentioning the book club, but it's on Patreon with Mercedes from Mercedes Bookish Musings. I'm gonna leave a link to her channel down below. Every month we select a book that she puts 2 choices and we select one. And for May, I think, it was Deep Water by Patricia Highsmith. And I really, really enjoyed this book. I loved it. It's, well, I don't really read thrillers or mystery novels, and this is arguably one of them, because it's not really a mystery, I wouldn't say, but it's sort of thrillerish. So you're following this man who has a wife that basically publicly cheats on him, and he's seemingly fine with it, but really not really. And so he makes up a story to scare off one of her sort of latest lovers, that he killed a previous lover of hers to scare him off. And then things sort of escalate from there. So you're in the mind of Vic, that's his name, right? Vic, right. And I really loved it. I wasn't expecting to love this one that much. And even though there's no real mystery, I was still so engaged, and I still really wanted to pick it up when I was not reading it, wanting to know how it ended. And I feel like it's very strange to root for the bad guy, but that's sort of what's happening here, I guess. And also, I really got interested in Patricia Highsmith as an author, and I really want to read more of her works, because she seems like a very interesting person. And I really loved her writing style. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this one. Then this, I'm just gonna talk very quickly about this because this is Witch, a reboot. Basically, well, this is in Italian and it's a graphic novel. So Witch was a series of magazines. I would say graphic novels, but no, not really. They were magazines. And I think they came out every month. I could be wrong though, because it was a long time ago. It was in the early 200s. And I was a teenager and I really loved the story and the illustrations. And after a while, after like 60 issues, then it started, not being that great. But up until, I don't remember which number, it was a very solid story and a very good, one. So this is supposed to be a reboot, like set in the present time, and it's a bit different. Like the protagonists are all sort of the same, but the story is different, is all different, and it's very bad. It was very bad. Even the illustrations are not bad. I don't know if you can see, but the story was very bad, and I prefer, of course, the original illustrations. It really made me want to pick up Witch again, though, which I think it's also translated into English. The original one. I could be wrong, but it was amazing, and I really want to pick it up again now. Then I've read, since I was interested in the Women's Prize for Fiction, when the long list came out, I took a look, and I found that there were many books that I was interested in, so I sort of picked some of them to read. And then the short list, because I'm very slow, the short list came out and I selected 2 books from the short list that I wanted to read. And one of them was Soldier Sailor, which I read, by Claire Kilroy. And I really, really enjoyed this one. I didn't have many expectations going in, even though I love books about motherhood. I think it's my element. I love reading about it. And I'm also a bit hesitant towards them because I'm afraid I'm not gonna agree with what they say. But this one was a cry for help in the early stages of motherhood. This is about a mother. The entire book, she's talking to her son, Sailor. She's Soldier. And it's a very raw depiction of, early motherhood and how the mind really, when you feel alone and sort of abandoned, then everything is tragic. Even though, of course, we're talking about privileged people living a privileged life. So it's just, it was relatable though. How, especially when she's talking also about her husband and how not supportive he is and how this makes her feel. It's just, I really liked how it's written. Love the writing style. I could relate to many of these things. Sometimes it was also funny. I mean, it's not a funny book by any means, but a couple of times I chuckled. It was just very quick to go through and very relatable. So if you care about motherhood, this is definitely one that I would suggest. That's it. And then the last book that I finished was Comet in Moominland by Tove Jansson. Oh, I never said that out loud. Tove Jansson. Okay. So I've never read anything by Tove Jansson, even though I have a couple of her books, adult books, in my TBR. But I really was drawn to the Moomins because I just feel like they look so cute. I have I have items with Moomins on them, but I've never read anything about them. So I thought, let's just start somewhere. And this is the first full-length novel that she published in the 40s, but it's not the first book in this series because then there was another one that is set previously. But anyway, I don't think it really makes much of a difference to go in order. I don't know. But I really wanted to pick this one up because I also heard Seb over at Jesus, I'm blanking on his channel name right now. Why? This is my head. Well, I'm just gonna write it down. But Seb, I will remember your channel name at some point. I hate this. Anyway, he was talking about this and he loved it, and so I just picked it up, and it was great. It was a great story. It was quick to read. It was funny, but also, I don't know, real. And it's very, like, I loved being immersed in this kind of, you know, fictional world, and I cannot wait to read more. I don't really know what to say more because it's just a romp. I really liked it. And yeah, that's it, I guess. Yeah, so these were the books that I read in the month of May. I did DNF some books. I don't know whether to talk about DNF. Maybe I'm gonna you know, talk about the books that I DNF'd in a separate video. I don't know. But there are books that I DNF'd too this month. So overall, I'm very happy with how it went. And yeah, please talk to me about the books that I shared with you, and let's talk in the comments. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!